All right, guys, so we just got to the lodge, and today is a very, very special day because so far, since I have become a professional poker player and I've been playing here in Austin, Texas, I have so far played 99.25 hours. So today, barring something crazy, we're going to be playing my 100th hour of poker as a professional poker player. So we will finally have some results for what that first 100 hours looks like. So we're gonna go in, we're gonna play a session. You guys are gonna see that in this video. Hopefully that goes well. And then I'll add that session onto this. So we're gonna end up with 100 and some change hours. And then I'll show you my win rate, what it's like playing in Texas, win rate, fees, how much I paid, all that different stuff, and talk a little bit about this experience. So this is what it's been like playing 100 hours as a professional poker player. Very first hand of this session, we're gonna be picking up pocket eights on the button. There's gonna be one limp before us. We're gonna raise it up to 10 bucks, and we're going three ways to the flop: the big blind and the limper call. Flop is gonna be ace 2-3 rainbow. The big blind checks it over to the man in the middle here, and he's gonna look at his cards for a little bit, and he's gonna do something that he likes to do a lot. As I played with him more throughout the session, he's going to lead out for 10 bucks. I'm gonna make the call. He doesn't always just lead when he has something. He does it just all the time. I wouldn't really even read too much into it. So pocket eights could definitely still be good here. You could argue that with the person behind me I should fold, but whatever. I'm gonna peel to see a turn, and the turn comes in 8. Absolutely what we were looking for. Big blind checks again, and then he's going to lead out for $10 once again. Now I need to start putting in some more money. There's definitely a question of how much I should be raising it up to, but I make it 60 bucks. Maybe this is too small. I could definitely see you going bigger here, but after he's only led for 10 and then led for 10 again, I don't really even know how strong he is. I don't think this is necessarily an ace anymore, but I need to try to go for some value. He calls the 60. The other guy folds. We're going to a river. It is a queen of clubs. Backdoor flush draw comes in, so that's not great for me, not because I'm scared of losing, but because I'm scared of not being able to get paid. He's got around, I think, $250, $300 behind, something like that. He looks for a while. I don't know if he's kind of devising some devious plan or something like that, but he does take a while before he eventually checks it over to me, and then I have to decide on a bet size, and I go for the all in. I think I'm good a lot here. He's a very, very sticky guy, but he does fold pretty quick. Maybe I went too big, but he pretty much snap folded, so maybe there was no size that was going to get us paid. Either way, a nice start to the session. Now we get to a very, very crazy hand. I'm struggling to even look at my cards, but we have ace 10 suited in the big blind. Under the gun, made it 15. There was two callers before me in the big blind, and I decided to complete for the $15. Now, I think there's an argument to be made for 3-betting. I think calling is totally fine. I don't know. I don't really want to get 4-bet. I don't really mind playing this hand multi-way, and I don't really want to blow the pot up pre-flop out of position either. But whatever, we go 4 ways to the flop, and the flop is a crazy one. This is Queen Jack 3 with 2 spades. Now, obviously, very, very monster flop for us. We have the combo draw. We've got the ace high flush draw. We've got the over card. A lot of different things going for us. And the villain from last hand decides to lead into me for 20 bucks. Now it gets over to me. My hand is just too strong to just call here. If he is donking, we already saw he likes to donk all the time, likes to donk for small sizes. But if he is going to be donking multi-way, I think maybe his range is going to be a little bit stronger here. But also, my hand is just so big. I want to put more money in the pot here. I could just call and see what the other two people are going to do behind me, but I decided to bump it up to 90 bucks. Then all of a sudden, the guy to my left, who is the original raiser pre-flop, and he hasn't even got to act yet. There's been a donk and a raise before it even gets back to him. He decides to rip in his $482 stack. Now, the fourth player who has not yet acted in this hand, he does make the fold, and it gets back to the other guy who originally had donked for 20 bucks. Now it's $482. He decides to flick in the call. Now, he had less. He makes a call for 405. I have a very, very easy decision at this point. We just can't go anywhere. We have pretty crazy equity against almost everything. We're making the call, and all of a sudden, this has gone from a $15 single raise pot preflop to piles and piles and piles of money going in here. Again, $405 from all three of us, and then a smaller side pot between me and the guy on my left. Again, the big all-in was 482. The other guy's putting in 405. So very, very crazy. Over $1,200 pot here. And obviously we're probably going to need some help. And guess what? We get just that, the 5 of spades on the turn. We turn the nut flush. Obviously somebody could have a set. You know, we're not out of the woods just yet, but I do show my cards. We get the 7 of diamonds on the river, and we have the absolute nuts. You love to see it. Now, what gets a little bit crazier here is the guy on my right, the guy who originally donked for 20 and then made the call off for the all-in. He shows king 9 offsuit. That is an overcard and a gut shot that just put in $405 here. Whatever, we love to see that. And the guy on my left, I saw the queen of spades in his hand, and I don't know what the other card was. So could he have had, I don't know, queen jack? Could he have had a queen and a flush draw? Could he have had top set? I don't know, but again, he decided to 3-bet rip it on the flop, so I'm sure he had something pretty good. But either way, this day is off to an amazing start after we scoop this 3-way all-in. It's always nice to follow up a big pot with a premium. Here we have pocket kings in the big blind. There's a raise to 10 and 2 calls in front of me. I make it 70. The original raiser folds. Another caller folds. But one of the callers in the middle, the guy who had king 9 last hand, he makes the call. So we're going heads up in this 3-bet pot to the flop. And it is a weird one. Ace, queen, jack with 2 hearts. He checks it over to me, or I check it over to him. I'm just checking my entire range. Obviously with kings, I'm not necessarily loving an ace high board anyway, but I'm going to check it to him. I'm going to see what he wants to do. He checks back. We go to the turn, an offsuit king. Now, I think I need to bet. Obviously, he checked back on the flop, so I'm thinking he has kind of a weak range, so I'm going to bet small. He could definitely have a straight now, but he could also have, you know, 1 pair. He could have small 2 pair. He could have a flush draw. He could have, there's a lot of different things that I think we are ahead of. So I just bet 50 here, and he makes the call. We go to the river. It's going to be a jack. We fill up, and now I want to see what he has. I think he could have 3 of a kind now. I think he could still have straights. I think he, I don't know. I think there's a lot of different stuff he can have. Maybe he even has a worse bow. It's very, very possible. So I decide to go for the all-in. I actually think this is a mistake. I think checking it over to him would have been the better play. If he has those strong hands, he's going to bet and we're going to get to raise. And if he doesn't have anything good, he's just going to check back anyway, and he's never going to be calling this bet. So maybe I should have went small one more time. He does end up making the fold. We make a big hand. We win a medium pot. Could have been a little bit bigger. Maybe I got too greedy. But either way, we're still winning pots. This hand is just bizarre, and I definitely want to know what you guys think of it. I have jack 10 offsuit in the cutoff. I make it 15 bucks. The button calls, the big blind calls. We're going 3 ways to the flop. And the flop is going to be king, queen, 4 with 2 spades. So we do flop the open-ended. We don't have any spades, you know, but it's still a nice draw that we have going. I'm definitely going to be betting here. The big blind checks it over to me, and I am going to bet $30 here into the pot of like 45 or 50. There might have been 4 callers, I guess, so this pot was around 60. So I do bet 30 into the pot. I didn't know there was a limper that also called pre-flop, but I see that now in the video. The guy in the red shirt definitely did call. We bet 30. And the button is going to fold, and the big blind is now going to raise. He's going to make it 130, and after this 130, he's got about another 300 left. So after the guy in the red folds, I think this is kind of a weird, kind of interesting spot. I don't really know what the right answer is. Obviously, I'm open-ended, but there's a flusher out there, so I probably don't even have as many clean outs all the time as I would want or should. I can definitely jam here for the extra 300. I can call. I don't really think that's that bad, and just see what he wants to do on the turn and see even what the turn is. Or I could just fold right here, because guess what? Raises and putting in this much money is really under-bluffed at the small stakes. I just decided to make the call. The turn comes a queen, and he pretty much snap jams his $300 stack in. I just make the fold, and then he shows me jack 8 of spades. So he just had like a flush draw with no pair, but you know, Marco next to me was like, oh, like that looks so bluffy. Why would he just randomly jam on the queen? And I was like, well, I had jack high, so what do you want me to do about it? So, I mean, congrats. He bluffed. He showed the bluff. I still don't think he's probably doing that very often. I don't know why he randomly decided to do it here. I wish I would have had a little bit more of his board. But, yeah, I don't know. Should I have called the flop? Should I have jammed the flop? Should I have folded? Who knows? got kind of card dead, and the session did slow down a lot here when I had big hands, wasn't really getting a ton of action. I don't know, the table slowed down a lot. You can see the guy in the red shirt left as well, so the vibes were just a lot different. But here there's a raise to like 15 or 20. The guy in the black shirt across the table from me, it gets back to me, and I'm just gonna rip it here with a mystery hand. And that might look a little bit strange, but the guy, we have ace king, but the guy who made it 15 or 20, he only had $100, and the rest of the people left, they only had somewhere between 100 and 200. So I wasn't really gonna 3-bet to a size that wasn't gonna be all in for everybody, so I do just decide to rip it. Everybody folds back to the guy in the black. He makes the call. He's a nice guy. I play with him a lot. He likes going twice. Sure, let's go twice. We turn an ace on the top board. That's good to see. And on the bottom board, he says we're good on top. On the bottom board, we hit a king as well, so it seems like we're about to scoop this little $225 pot, something like that. But no, he's got pocket threes. He made a set on the bottom actually, so I thought we were scooping this up. Instead, we're gonna chop. We're gonna profit probably like $5, $6, $7, something like that here. But yeah, I just thought this was kind of interesting, the all-in decision pre-flop. All right, so now wrapping up this session, kind of a shorter one. I was actually there for 5 hours, but really not that much happened. There was like a couple more 3-bet pots that I pretty much bet the flop and took down. Maybe other one all-in pot that I ended up chopping. Like, I don't know, just not that interesting of a session today. But the main goal today anyway was to get our 100th hour played and look at some results. So we're going to do that. So today we were in for 500, we're out for 1262. That is a $762 profit in 5 hours. Very, very nice day. And overall, that does bring us to 104.25 hours played. So now the truth of how much we have made during that time period so far of me being a professional poker player here in Austin, Texas. Here it is, the screenshot right here, 7,300. Very, very interesting that today's number actually brought us to an exactly even $7,300 in 104.25 hours, which is absolutely insane. Now, have I been running crazy good? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure. I don't think you can really win this much without running pretty good, but I will say I've had aces versus kings all in pre-flop twice, and I have been the kings and gotten stacked both times. Like that's like one of the classic situations where, hey, your aces versus kings pre-flop is going to work out. But I've had a couple of those. I've also had a couple hands where I've misplayed horribly. You guys have let me know in the comment section that I've punted in this hand or punted in that hand or whatever. So I don't know. I've ran okay. Definitely had some days where I've run amazing. Definitely had some days where I've run poorly, but I also think I've been playing pretty well. I think I've been playing the best poker of my life, honestly, since I've been down here in Texas. Been really locked in, been really focused. Also, it is a 1-2 game in Texas with a 500 cap. That's the biggest cap for a 1-2 game I've ever played in. Usually it's, I don't know, I've played in 100, I've played in 200, I've played in 300. So obviously the higher cap is going to make a higher win rate possible. And we have bomb pots, we have plenty of straddles, we have stuff like that, and it's just Texas, the action is just pretty good. But the other thing we need to take into account here is the rake being paid. Obviously, when you are paying time rake, that is, meaning you're winning more money at the table, but then you're still having to pay the rake. So when we subtract that out, again, we can see 104.25 hours, I'm paying about $12 per hour here in Texas. It pretty much evens out to that. Now I'm pretty much paying 12 always per hour at the lodge. I'm prepaying for all my time. So if we take 104.25 times 12, that is going to give us $12.51. That's how much I've paid in rake over these 104-ish hours. So again, we're going to take that 7,300. We're going to subtract 1251 from it. That's going to give us 6,049. Still some very, very insane results and something that I am plenty happy with. Again, if we average that $6,049 out over this 104.2 hour sample size, that means we are making $58.02 per hour playing 1-2 hold'em as a professional poker player here in Austin, Texas, which is awesome. Again, I would be happy if I was making anything around like $30 per hour, I would be pretty happy. But yeah, things have been going better than I could even imagine. And guess what? Spoiler alert. Since then, things have gotten even crazier. We've been on a just massive heater, winning a ton. Overall, looking at the numbers, our biggest session win, I can't even talk. Our biggest session win so far is $1,733 in one session. I haven't posted that video yet, but we're definitely going to post that sometime. And our biggest loss, trying to scroll through here, it's just $1,000 even. I do usually try to put a $1,000 max loss cap on myself per day, just because if I've already lost $1,000, I'm probably not going to be in a good headspace. I'm probably going to be a little bit tilted. I'm probably not playing well or anything like that. So I've been limiting myself to $1,000 on the downside. and trying to play as many hours as I can when I'm feeling good. And again, that has worked out very, very well so far, to the tune of $58.02 per hour here in Texas so far through my first 100 hours played. So I played 100 hours of low stakes live poker, and here were the results. Thank you so much for checking out this video today, guys. I appreciate it a ton. Drop a like, subscribe, and hopefully I catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.